Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Today we're back with our mod highlight series and we're taking a look at OVN lost factions once again. As you can guess from what you're seeing on screen, they've implemented one of the biggest characters in Warhammer Fantasy Battle, Be'lakor, the Dark Prince, the only remaining Chaos Demon Prince of Undivided. For those not aware of him, Be'lakor was a warrior of ancient days and attracted the attention of not one but all four of the main Chaos powers, where they had blessed him to be their champion. However, as he got more and more powerful, he wished to become a god in his own right and started to actively work against the Chaos Gods themselves. Of course, because of this, the Chaos Gods eventually managed to punish him, and now use him more as a glorified messenger than anything else. But Be'lakor still works against the Chaos Gods when given the chance, still wanting to be a god in his own right. He's failed many times, but he is persistent, and the model itself looks absolutely great, doesn't it? But let's not waste any more time and jump right in. Your campaign will begin in Northern Albion, with a small minor settlement, and your army itself will be just off the coast. You don't really have a lot of enemies to begin with. You're in a very isolated area where you're not going to deal with that many forces. However, first thing you should do is take over Albion and then start plotting on what you should do next. Your faction effects are as follows. Casualties captured post-battle increased by 25%. Leadership +5 for all armies. Melee attack +5 for all armies. And finally, income from slaves +20%. Yes, the slave mechanic is a thing here, but then again, it's very popular with modded factions that are a bit more chaotic. The technology tree itself seems small, but is actually rather interesting. The first two branches focus more around administration of your settlements and empire, whilst the other four will focus around buffing up units from your different styled roster, so each branch is tailored to one specific thing, which works the best way in my opinion, as that way you can focus around the specific branches which have more interest towards yourself and your playstyle. Your construction tab itself is very much focused around in a similar style of Norska. The difference here is that your roster itself is drastically different. You'll see you have two different types of playstyle here. You can either go full monstrous with a Familiar army, or focus around a more Warriors of Chaos / Norska theme. Of course, you can mix both armies up, so it's more around how you want to play yourself. You'll also have access to a very stripped down version of the Albion roster, but that's only through this settlement's landmark as far as I've seen. Essentially, you have 3 different armies to work around, so you can pretty much tailor your armies to specific needs. Be'lakor has one faction effect, that of the Dark Master, which goes as follows. Winds of Magic starting amount +10, and speed +10% for Lord's army. The extra Winds of Magic is obviously very useful, and so is the speed if you want to focus more around the Familiar. They're not too quick, so this would give them an extra boost to get up in front of the enemy's faces as fast as possible. As for his skills and stats, his stats themselves are quite strong, but then again, bear in mind that this is of course a Chaos Demon Prince of Undivided. He's supposed to be fairly powerful, but nothing which is going to make him absolutely indestructible. He can still be taken down by a host of javelins should you unfortunately get caught by them. This character is a melee caster hybrid, very good at close combat, but also quite powerful with access to the Lore of Shadows. His blue skill line is pretty much what you can expect. His red skill line has obviously been updated to fit around every different type of unit he has available to him. His basic yellow skill line is of course its generic form, but then he's also got a host of special skills. These are, as expected, buffs for both himself and his army, negatives towards enemy armies, and a special item which will also give him access to a vortex spell. Everything here is done quite well. There's nothing too overpowered in regards to the buffs or the negatives. I'd say it's very similar to normally officially implemented legendary lords, if not just a little bit stronger. But once again, Demon Prince of Undivided, it kinda makes sense here. He looks absolutely great on the battlefield, and the animations he has makes him look more intimidating, could I say. The character itself can take quite a few punches, and as you level him up, he'll become quite the force to be reckoned with. You'll be spreading Chaos Corruption quite heavily, as you can see here when you take over a settlement. You'll be able to either Enshroud, which is your basic occupy but also take slaves, pillage and enslave, which yeah makes sense, or obliterate the settlement itself. Both latter options will spread Chaos Corruption fairly quickly. So this might be a way for you to finally turn the world into darkness. In regards to lords and heroes, there isn't too much new here, but then again, if you look at it in a chaos way, everything's already there. For heroes, you'll have the Famir, the Exalted Hero, the Goblin Great Shaman, and the Giant River Troll Hag. A decent mix over here already. In regards to your lord choices, you have the Chaos Lord, the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and the Famir Warlord. This is the character that you'll want to lead your other Famir forces. He is incredibly tanky and has a whopping 125 armor to begin with. Melee based character, so there's not really too much to discuss in regards to skills. However, he does have some special skills which will focus around building up and buffing up the Famir. So if you want a pure Famir army, you can do so without a problem. Now we're going to take the time to look at all the units added in for this faction. We'll be panning through all of them and checking out all their individual stats. But as we do so, I want to give my final thoughts in regards to this faction. First and foremost, I think Be'lakor himself has been implemented incredibly well. This is a rather big fan favorite character of not just myself but of the Warhammer community. He looks absolutely amazing and plays really well on the campaign. The varied army playstyle of both Norscan and Chaos Warriors with Famir works incredibly well. If you prefer using more monstrous troops, you can use them in their whole army, or if you want to have a mix, you can do so. It really just depends on what you like yourself. Perhaps my only real issue with this faction is the fact that Be'lakor starts off in the ocean, where it will take you a turn or two before you will actually start fighting. This is of course if you're trying to unify Albion, which to be honest might be the best idea, as it's so isolated it will make for a great base of operations. Other than that, I mean, it's OVN. The OVN Lost Factions mod is absolutely mega. We've been covering it on the channel for some time now, and it just keeps getting better and better. I was incredibly surprised when Be'lakor was released. He's been out for quite some time now. Unfortunately, it happened at a time that I was unable to cover it, so I'm pretty happy to be able to do so now. This is absolutely incredible. The model itself is huge. And once again, it's a testament to modding. I can't praise OVN Lost Factions enough. It is an absolutely gargantuan mod with so many different playable races and factions that will keep you playing for hours on end. As always, if you want a direct link to this mod, you can find it in the description below, as I do highly recommend OVN Lost Factions. And if you know of any mods that you'd like to see highlighted on the channel, you can always suggest one in the comments below, or might I suggest joining the official Great Book of Grudges Discord, which is also linked in the description below, as it's much easier to get in contact with me. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games, where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.